the greatest card of all time. Let's go! I don't know what we did right in this lifetime, but whatever it is, we don't deserve Tony Ferguson versus Justin Gaethje. This is UFC 249 Breakdown with Matt Polino from Polino Theory. If you could please click the subscribe button below, it would mean a lot to me. You could turn on those notifications. We're going to be uploading videos Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then of course we're going to have a review of the fights after the fight night. So UFC 249, of course, there's been so many moves with it. It finally finds a home in Jacksonville, Florida. And then, of course, probably the best lightweight fight that I've seen or been excited for in a very long time. No, I was not excited for Conor versus Khabib. Is Justin Gaethje versus Tony Ferguson. Two machines, two finishers, and two guys who could equally dethrone Khabib Nurmagomedov. I think the general populace wants to see Tony because his threat of a submission game against Khabib. But man, Gaethje hits so hard in his wrestling, he can scramble. You've never seen Justin Gaethje in compromised position on the ground in a fight. And if he is, he gets up super quick, super explosive striker. I'm going to break down how I think this fight goes. I think within the first 2 rounds, Justin Gaethje is his most dangerous. He can chop Tony down with leg kicks. He's got that thunderous right hand. And if he were to stop Tony Ferguson, I would think it would be within the first 2 rounds. Tony does get hit a lot because he likes to fight on that midline because he uses that reach. And he uses that really strong, pure boxing jab with the knuckles turned in. And he does a lot of damage with it. So Tony uses his pace, his boxing, and basically just the way, his will to break people down on the feet. And if he's able to break Justin, like break the distance at which they're fighting, close the gap, fight in a telephone box, and put him up against the cage, just in the first 2 to 3 rounds, and he can stay safe, Tony Ferguson can easily come out with a decision or a late submission victory. Justin Gaethje, I don't really see him getting a submission win, but he can win by TKO. Both these guys can win anyway. That's the great thing about both of them. They're both equally explosive finishers, and they both have that finishing aspect in their game. They go after it. So either one of them can win, and that's exciting. Either one of them is going to be a great test for Khabib Nurmagomedov. So we're just lucky to see it. If I'm going to pick Justin Gaethje. I think Justin Gaethje knocks out Tony Ferguson in round 2 by TKO. Okay, co-main event, Dominick Cruz, Henry Cejudo. Both these guys are fighting for the number 2 bantamweight spot in the world because we all know Peter Yan is the number 1. Undoubtedly, he's the best bantamweight in the world. I don't think anyone holds a candle to Peter. No one can light a candle to Peter Yan. He's the best. He's nuts. I've trained with him. He's crazy, super nice guy. The cardio of, I don't know, a non-human. He's nuts. But Dominick Cruz and Cejudo is a very interesting fight because Henry Cejudo fights on a line. He's very successful because he uses very good boxing. He hits hard. He's got good 1-2. And he throws hard down the pipe. He also has a very good inside trip. Now, you can get those inside trips by turning opponents, but he uses that from a direct level change, and he's very good at that. Dominick Cruz fights on angles. That's been his whole game. You see people online really trying to emulate what he does, and that's why he's called the decisionator. He's extremely hard to hit. He uses those wide angles to set up his knee picks, his takedowns, and his big heavy shots. With the exception of the TJ Dillashaw fight, Dominick Cruz has been so dominant in his decisions. He destroyed Mighty Mouse. Wasn't even close. I think Cruz has enough, if he shows up, to win a decision against Henry Cejudo. I could see him pulling off a decision. I'm going to lean towards Dominick Cruz. Not only because I think this styles make fights, obviously. And for this fight, I think Dominick Cruz has the style to beat him. We drop down. Jairzinho Rozenstruik, Francis Ngannou, two heavy strikers. Rozenstruik really fights with more of a pugilistic kickboxing fight, like stance as well. I think when you see him fight, he gets taken down. I think Overeem probably won that fight. I think they stopped it way too late. I think that's a horrible stoppage. I think when you knock someone down in MMA, you have to follow up. I think Overeem won that fight. But nonetheless, Rozenstruik has that ability to put you away, and so does Francis Ngannou. I think Ngannou is more well-equipped fighting with 4-ounce gloves at the moment than Rozenstruik. I think Jairzinho can definitely be a force in the UFC heavyweight division. I don't think he's there yet to beat Ngannou. I think Francis Ngannou wins by TKO. I think he lands a big shot, follows up, finishes the fight, and then undoubtedly gets a title shot gets the winner of Stipe and Daniel Cormier. And we're going to work our way down. Calvin Kattar. Holy smokes. How do you not like this fight, man? Calvin Kattar. This is my fight of the night. Calvin Kattar, for me, has got the best pugilistic boxing in MMA. His stance is fantastic. He throws hard, straight down the pipe. Going up against the OG, Jeremy Stephens. I mean, what can you say about Little Heathen? Jeremy Stephens is a killer, man. Look at his knockouts. Josh Emmett destroyed him. Doo Ho Choi destroyed him. Excuse me. RDA destroyed him. You don't get a more powerful finisher than Jeremy Stephens. But Calvin Kattar, man, I think in this fight, I'm a fan of both. I lean more towards Calvin Kattar because I think on the feet, he's more disciplined. When he fought Zabit, I think he can push that fight if it's a 5-round fight. I think he's very disciplined, very underrated striker, heavy hands, got great boxing. I'm picking Calvin Kattar. I wouldn't really call it an upset. You could lean either way on this fight. It's a pick-me fight. I think it could go either way, but I'm going with Calvin Kattar. And then it rounds off with a heavyweight fight. Yorgan De Castro, heavy puncher, taking on Greg Hardy, the former NFL player, who surprised me in his last fight with Alexander Volkov. I think he's coming into his own as a mixed martial artist, and this is a great fight for both of them to like start the biggest card of the year, main card, first fight on the main card. It doesn't really get better than this. There's going to be fireworks. I probably lean towards Yorgan De Castro. It's a good fight. It's a close one. Both these guys got the ability to finish. Greg Hardy's footwork looked really good in his last fight. I think if he can put that footwork together, he could easily win. This one goes either way. I just think De Castro's finishing power is a little bit more, and I think at heavyweight that matters a little bit more than at any other weight class. So those are going to be my picks. It's a great fight card. That's the main card. If we go to the preliminary card, Donald Cerrone versus Anthony Pettis. Both those guys, WEC, UFC legends. I've got Pettis in that one. We have Alexei Olenek versus Fabricio Verdum. I love Olenek. I'm picking him to beat Verdum. Michelle Waterson versus Carla Esparza. Great fight for that women's division. Both of them kind of OGs. It's going to be a sick fight. Uriah Hall versus Ronaldo Souza. Another pick-me fight. I like Jacare. I think he could be fighting for a title already. And then the preliminary cards, we have Vicente Luque versus Nico Price. Just, what do you do with Nico Price? The guy finishes people with strikes off of his back. It's insanity. And then Bryce Mitchell, Thug Nasty versus Charles Rosa, ending with Ryan Spann and Sam Alvey. Those fights, guys, I'm going to pick my fight card picks up. Again, please like the subscribe button. I hope you look forward to more content. This is my UFC 249 main card breakdown. If you have any questions or you want to discuss any of the other fights, please drop a comment. Thank you. Signing off. Peace, love, stay safe, and enjoy UFC 249.